Carl Lawson made a bold prediction yesterday about his 2023 season, but I think he can do it. What is going on, guys? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today I want to talk about Carl Lawson and his bold prediction. Make sure to follow along with us on social media and make sure to check out the Just Jets podcast. New episodes drop every single Wednesday, including today. We got a new episode out right now. So yesterday, Carl Lawson said that he thinks, he said that he will have a double-digit sack season in 2023. Roll the clip.
Double-digit sacks?
Yes.
Is that a goal or is that...
That's a goal and that's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I love the confidence from Carl Lawson. If you didn't see him at practice yesterday, in, what do you call this? OTAs, during OTAs. My God, is he just an absolute behemoth of a human being. It is truly remarkable just how good of shape he is in. As I mentioned in my coverage yesterday, as we know, Carl Lawson missed all of 2021. Unfortunately, he looked like the best player at training camp. And then in 2022, comes back and plays essentially through an injury. He wasn't expected to return in November, so he tears his Achilles, is recovering from that, required a second surgery. The Jets thought they'd be getting him back in sometime around November. Instead, he plays every single game, doesn't miss one single practice, and puts up a 7-sack season. Now, he was okay, wasn't bad, wasn't great. He was okay, but can he get to that next level and be that 10-sack guy? If fully healthy, honestly, he has a pretty good shot. And I know that they're going to rotate guys more this year because you add Will McDonald in. You'd imagine Bryce Huff is going to have a bigger role. And you're going to imagine Jermaine Johnson, Michael Clemens, and JFM, and on and on and on. There's a lot of ways that the Jets could get these guys on the field, but Robert Saleh is in love, seemingly, with Carl Lawson. I talked about Corey Davis being one of their guys, and it just feels like Carl Lawson is also in that boat. So what I wanted to do to kind of prove make my case is go through and look at his pressure percentages over his career and how that is converted to sacks, and see if, that could maybe be the reason why he hits that 10-sack mark for the first time in his career. So this past year in 2022, he had 432 pass rush snaps. He was able to get a pressure on 6.9% of those snaps, and that yielded 7 sacks, which crazy, 6.9% pressure rating, or getting a pressure on 6.9% of his snaps is a career low by far. But again, he's never hit 10 sacks in his career. 7 is the second highest sack total he has ever had. And a big part of it has to do with injuries. We'll go through a little bit more. Missed the entire 2021 season. In 2020, arguably his best year in the league, 8.4 pressure percentage on 437 pass rush snaps. So played essentially the same number of snaps. There's a 5-snap difference from 2020 and 2022, but he had 8.4% pressure percentage. Ironically, though, that only yielded 5.5 sacks, 5.5 sacks. In 2020. So he left a lot on the table, which is why the Jets signed him and gave him that big contract, is because the thought process was, okay, this guy's is one of the best, pressure percentage guys in the NFL at the edge rusher spot. The sacks are going to come. And while he had 7, which is an increase in 2022, he only had 6. He only got pressures on 6.9% of his snaps. In 2019, it was 7.7 on 268 pass rush snaps. He was banged up and didn't play the whole year. That yielded 5 sacks. That's a pretty impressive number for only 268 pass rush snaps. In 2017, 7.4% on 184 pass rush snaps resulted in 2. And then in 2017, 9.5% pressure percentage, which is by far the highest of his career. That's the 8.5 sacks on 389 pass rush snaps. So my thought process is, with Carl Lawson finally healthy, I think he will get more pressures this year. Even if he plays, I expect him to play a similar number of snaps. I don't think it's going to really increase or decrease by that much. I think right around 430 to 440, assuming he stays healthy, is a fair number. And if he gets back to, I don't know, 8%, which is really not all that crazy. He has had a career high in 9.5. He had 8.4 in 2020. If he's around that 8%, there's no reason that he can't convert some more of those into sacks, which is something that he wasn't really able to do in 2020. But when you look at the rest of the defensive line, Quinnen Williams, like the Jets having a deep pass rush unit is going to help each other get sacks. Like you would think Quinnen Williams having, what was it, 12.5 sacks last year? It was over 10. I believe it was 12.5 sacks last year. Would hurt a guy like Carl Lawson on the edge getting sacks, but with needing to give attention to other areas that, that cranks things up, or other guys getting pressure. Guess what? Pressure makes a quarterback move. You can't just stand there in the pocket and, try to roll out and then you go right into the arms of a Carl Lawson. That's kind of what happened on the Miami Dolphins play with Skylar Thompson. There's pressure up the middle. Carl Lawson gets the strip sack, and Quinnen Williams ends up with it and gives a massive stiff arm. Like I think there's a world where Carl Lawson hits 10 sacks this year, which might sound crazy because he only had 7 last year, but he's healthier this year, and I think that this is a good prediction from Carl Lawson. I want to hear from you. What do you think? Can he hit 10 sacks this year? I am Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you are new. I'll catch you next time.